to tell you about this really cool thing. Come closer, come closer. Oh, you're already here. I bought a heart rate monitor and put it on my avatar in VRChat. Okay, here. Let me show you. If you look at my face, you can see there's a number displayed right here. That is my heart rate, my beats per minute at the current second. Do let me give you a little bit of backstory about this and why I got it. I'm sort of into VRChat and getting more tracking for it. You know, I've gotten the full body. I got the index controllers. I got face and mouth tracking. But besides going 10 point, where do I go from here? And I remember seeing somebody in a no time to talk world. About 6 months ago, I was in a no time to talk world, and I saw somebody in a group round that had a heart rate monitor attached to their avatar. And I was amazed by this. I had never seen it before. And up until this day, or until I put this on here, I hadn't seen anybody else in VR use it. So, I thought, why not? This video is a review over a heart rate monitor on VRChat, using it in game, the cost, the setup, and the general experience overall. So let me lead you in to the cost part. So, a heart rate monitor in VRChat. First of all, to get it all set up, you need to buy the heart rate monitor, which is about $32.99. Okay, it's this price. $32.99 for the $32.99 for a Cuspo heart rate monitor, which you can connect to Pulsoid. Pulsoid, they do have a paid plan where you get a bunch of wingdings or whatever, but that's mainly for streaming. You won't need any like the fancier stuff. There is basic ones that you can use for free and connect it to an OSC that way. Now, I do want to say the battery life for $32, it is 300 hours. 300 hours for $32.99. It's a lithium battery. It's like a little watch battery or a CMOS battery that you'd put in your computer or on a motherboard or something. 300 hours. I haven't used it for that long to say whether or not that's true, but we're going to go with that. For that amount, it's not bad. I will say, Cuspo, if you look on the Pulsoid website, they say what's compatible. The Cuspo, it is rated for a 5-star in accuracy, but it's only listed for 4 on comfortability. I'll get more into that in a second. Let's move on to the setup. So the setup. You need to use Unity and an OSC for VRChat. I was unfamiliar with Unity, so it took me 7 to 10 hours to get it all actually set up for the game. You use HR to VRChat, and it was made by 200 Tigers Bloxed. I'll have a link to an article that goes through like the details of how to set everything up, and I'll link his Gethub. What you mainly need is the Unity package for it, which the article isn't up to date. I'll link that. And you also need the OSC. There's also a UI helper, which I don't need to use anymore. I only need to start up the OSC. Maybe you need to set up the UI helper for actually getting it to work the first time. I will link the updated ones there. That was most of my time, I was using out-of-date stuff, I do believe. It shouldn't be that bad. You need to, if you have any idea of like how to use an OSC, going through the animations and setting all that up, it's automated. Mainly the videos in the article go over just everything and why it works. There is some stuff that probably was left out. They're a little older. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You can figure it out. So now what this leads us into is in-game use. Using it in-game is not bad at all. I've used it over the last 3 days with setting up the avatar, making sure that it's quest compatible, getting it all working. It's not bad. It's interesting to see because the way that I have set up, if you look currently, it's just the number on my face. There's nothing complicated that shows like a heart or anything. So people will just walk up to me or they'll be talking to me and they'll go, "What is that number counting up or down to?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's my heartbeat." And, everybody's a little intrigued when they see it. They're like, "Oh, that's actually kind of neat, you know?" The comfort part. I mentioned earlier that it was a 4-star. It's definitely noticeable. You got to keep it right here on your heart, close to your chest, tightened a little bit. I'm starting to get used to it. It says to wet it down so you can get a better contact with the body and the monitor. I did that for the first few days. It made it a little uncomfortable once I got like 5 hours in. You definitely. And under normal circumstances, they probably didn't expect anybody to wear it for over 5 hours unless they were doing like a sleep study, which there's better options for that. So I've recently started wearing it without any water, and it's a lot more comfortable. When I get into later times playing, it feels a lot better. There is some funny things that happen when you have it. If you're sitting there and you're like, "Oh, my heart rate's a little high," and you're like doing some movement, try to get it up. I've had friends come around me and they're just like 150, 150, 150, 150, chanting as I'm doing jumping jacks. Let me demonstrate real quick. Trackers may have messed up there, but if I come over, you can see 112. Just for just a quick little workout. It's fun to use it and exercise in the game. It's definitely made me look at it a lot differently. It's fun to be sitting there and doing like a just dance sort of session or in general just doing a little bit of exercise with people. Like no time to talk. Fitness people would sit there, they'd be like, "Let's do some squats." And I'd be like, "Let's go." Then you get done, it'd be at 120. You're breathing heavy, your heart's pounding. You're like, damn, that's just cool to look at the face and see that the heart rate. Everyone's like trying to get it up. Feels like a competition, like I'm a fucking leaderboard. It feels like a competition. But with that said, this is use in game. Let's move on to the conclusion. In conclusion, we're going to talk about the three main things, which that was, let me write this. So what we have here is cost, setup, and use. I will be giving these each a score out of 10, which will add up to 30. So let's talk about the cost. For $32.99, it's hard to beat anything with extra tracking. You get a little bit extra tracking. It's a lot cheaper than getting a singular tracker or trying to go for face tracking or anything like that. So I'm going to have to give it a 10 out of 10. That is pretty good. Next is setup. I would give the setup for this a 5 out of 10 if you don't know how to work Unity or anything with OSCs. But if you're fairly experienced, comparing it to some harder stuff, like facial tracking and all that, which would be pretty low down there, it gets a 7 out of 10 for me. Not too bad. In-game use. It's a bit uncomfortable, I will admit, but it's an interesting thing to see. For setup, I'm gonna have to score it fairly high. It is not, for the price, it's rare to see. I see so many people full body in this game, but a heart rate monitor, anything like this, it's so rare. And playing around with it in game is so interesting. No matter if you're full body, moving around, doing bits and exercising, or even if you're half body, just playing with friends and talking to them, people love to see what your heart rate is. They can gain your sort of reaction from it. They can gauge it and see up or down. The one thing I will have to bring it down for is comfortability. It's a little band strapped to your chest that's holding it in place. It's going to be a little tight just so it can stay on contact with your actual skin and read your heart rate. So I'm going to have to deduct it a point, but that is a 9 out of 10. So with 10, 7, and 9, that gives us a score of 26 out of 30. That is not bad. I would say probably trackers and stuff would be right around like a 19 or a 20. In conclusion, I think you should buy it. 26 out of 30 is not a bad score. Whether you're full body, half body, desktop, if you're willing to spend half of a day and $35 to have your heart rate displayed in this game, that'd be so cool. I want to see more people do stuff with this. It's so rare to see. I've only seen myself and one other guy, and nobody else I've run into with it. Whether you can add animations or just changing colors of the numbers, if you can connect like a ragdoll animation once you get to 150 while you're exercising, imagine how cool that'd be if you're sitting there, if you join a pug and you see a guy doing jumping jacks, you see a number above him, like a little Sims thing above, and you see the number reach 150, and then he just ragdolls over. I want to see more people mess with heart rate monitors and stuff with the OSC and VRChat. And with that said, thank you for your time. So it's over, it's done. That's the heart rate monitor sort of review there. What I'm gonna get into for the last little bit here is plans moving forward. I talked about this in my I talked about this in my 1 year in VR video, but I am trying to get more into software. This is sort of my little entry into it because I wanted to get this set up, the heart rate monitor. Somebody else had the face tracking set up for me on the other avatar that I had, and I am very thankful to them. I gotta learn it at some point, and I am unfamiliar with a lot of stuff in Unity and Blender. So this is my little break-in. I had help on this, but it was my Unity project that I opened and I was doing everything, which somebody did help me a little bit. Thank you very much for that. I do have sort of a 6-month plan. It's more like 5 months at this point. I plan on not going full 10-point tracking unless I'm really wanting it. I'm planning on getting 2 trackers for my elbows just to sort of have that little bit. It's not going to be an everyday wear thing, it's just going to be have them there, sort of if I felt like it, or I was doing something particular, like recording a video or something, and I want that little bit of extra accuracy, because it's nice and all, but it's not quite there. And when November comes around and Black Friday hits, I do plan on going wireless with my headset. For some things. A wireless adapter for a headset, that'd be amazing. I wanna see how wireless VR is. I wanna spin in a circle and not have to worry about getting wrapped up. So right around Black Friday, do expect a little bit after that a video about wireless Vive. I did say that I wanted to make more videos that aren't VRChat related, because I'm pretty sure that's basically all I've done. So the next one I upload, I promise, Pavlov or a flight sim. Something that's not VRChat, as I already spend way too much time in this game as it is. But hey, with all that said, no matter what time it is, my name's Baffled. I hope you have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.